Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Beyond the Sewing Room. I hope you're all doing really well this week and that you've had a fabulous Christmas season if you're watching at this time of year as I'm filming today. So I'm going to share with you a year in review. So it's a year in review of my sewing for this past year for myself. So that's not work, that's just everything that I've made for myself this past year in 2024. And I've made quite a few things. I've also done a few refashions and I've made myself a little list and we're going to go through them. So I'm also going to explain what has been the most worn, what has been a success, and also things that I'm perhaps not wearing so much and perhaps won't make again. So we're going to get started straight away. Here is my list. I had to make myself a list, otherwise I would have got lost. And I'm going to bring them in a few at a time and go through them all. So some of them I will be holding up, some of them I can't put my hands on straight away, but I will insert images as we go and explain what patterns I've used. Now, first of all, at the beginning of the year, I had a really lovely make and a rather sad thing has happened to it and I need to do something with it. It's got a little hole in it and I don't know if I've caught it on something or if I have had a dreaded moth somewhere. I don't think I have because I don't tend to have that problem. But there is a small hole up here and I don't know where it's come from and I'm just gutted. So it's this jacket right here. Now if you followed my channel you will have seen this and it was a nice slow make, a slow sew. I didn't rush it, I did it over a sort of a week, doing a little bit each night, and I used some denim that I already had left. I had this sort of gifted tweed that was given to me some time ago, some leftover lining, and I did buy the jeans buttons and I just love this jacket. Well, I can't see it at the moment, but there is a tiny hole in it. So the fact that I can't see it, it probably means I shouldn't worry too much. But yes, oh, it's just here. Just here at the top. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but just here there is a really small hole just there. So I have to stitch that. I don't know where that's come from. Maybe it was already there and I never noticed it when I made the jacket. But the jacket is this one. So it's a birder pattern and it's birder young. I've made this quite a lot of times. I really love it. It's a really lovely denim jacket style to make. So the number is 7018 in case you're interested in that. So here it is. It's got like a jacquard lining, denim buttons. No, it hasn't. It's got brass buttons, brass jean buttons, denim details to finish it off. And also at the bottom, just here, look, the little bands. So that's make number one. I'm going to pop that over here. Now this next one, this is a Sable cardigan. So as you can see, it's quite long. It's got deep pockets. It's got these woody fake buttons on it. Sort of a drop shoulder sleeve. So the Sable cardigan, this one is by Style Arc. Now I made this one because I'd made one for a work project and then I wanted to make one for myself. So I made the pink one. I have wore it quite a lot. The only thing that I'm going to say with this one is, and I think it's just this kind of sort of marl sweatshirting fabric, because I've wore it such a lot, where can I show you best? Under the arm. I think you just find this with any kind of sweater like this, the bought ones or the made ones. I've got the bobbling. So you can see it's been worn a lot because I'm getting that bobbling effect. But it is really cosy. It goes with lots of things. I wear it over some sort of short floral dresses sometimes in the cooler months. I have been doing recently with tights. And yeah, it's really cosy and it's really easy to wear. But I think I'm going to have to get myself one of those little T-bobbling devices to get the bobbles off because I've seen other people have used those and they work really well. I haven't got one. I think my mother-in-law might have got one actually, so I'll have to find out first of all. See if it's worth getting. And yeah, I'll continue wearing that. I really love it. So that was a success. So if you're interested in that, the Sable by Style Arc. So that's make number two. We're still in January and the next one is this one. And I had this on just yesterday. This has been another success. And I think it's because I've tried to add more plain things to my wardrobe. So this is plain white. It's thick. Oh, we've gone a bit bright there, haven't we? It's thick sweatshirting. So as you can see, it's got the detail sleeves. So it goes gathered into this deep cuff here. I'll add it up on the screen because it's quite hard to see with me waving it around and the sun coming through the window. But yeah, a thick sweatshirting and the pattern Again, it's one that I've used a few times and I will be using it again because I love it. And it's Simplicity 8982. So it's this one. So you've got the option to make the dress, the separate, so you can make the skirt, the top. So I've done a combination of one of the tops with the sleeves and the high neck and the skirt to make a dress. So I have another dress that I wear quite a lot using this pattern. And then this sweatshirt, as I say, is a keeper because I wear it loads since I made it. And as you can see, you can change the sleeve and have a plain sleeve if you want, or a plain neckband. But I like the higher one for the winter, and I think the puff sleeve with the deep cuff gives it a little bit of extra detail. So that's the next one. And then for that month, I'm not going to do them all month by month, but I did start off in that vein. I made a couple of scrappy bags for me. So I did sell a couple of these early on in the year. And then I decided I actually needed some of these for myself anyway. So these are just totes. I've got some really big oversized ones, and then I've got these smaller ones. So these were just using up all scrap fabrics. So I've got these smaller ones, but then I've got some bigger ones and I can't put my hands on them at the moment. So I made the two bigger ones earlier in the year. Oh, and I almost forgot, included in this first section was a vest. So I did a little tutorial on how to make a vest based on one that you already have. I'll pop it up here. I used boudoir bouquet, that was a viscose jersey fabric. And I made this little vest, and this can be worn either in the summer or you can use it as part of a pyjama set. Right, now moving on, I've got a bag make. So I made a cord bag, again using up some scrap fabrics. So that was this one right here. So I've got some floral on the front, I've got a zip in this, denim on the front and an adjustable strap. It's also got a zip. Next, I did a couple of tutorials on how to do a couple of free patterns. So those ones were the Mood Marigold camisole, so I'll show that one up here. And I also did the Augustina top, which was a baggy t-shirt, and I did a tutorial on that as well. So both of these are easily available free patterns that you can do, and you can check out my previous videos if you want to watch the sew along for both of those. So those are up here, so I'm going to pop those in now. And then I did a denim jacket remake. So this was a denim jacket, so I did quilting of my own denim a year ago, made up the jacket. I found that I didn't wear it very much, so as I've done with a few things this year, I remade it. So this is the jacket now, it's been remade, it's much shorter, and I have been wearing it this year. So again, it's another thing that I like a lot more now that I've altered it. So this is the jacket now, it's just regular denim, but I've quilted it and added wadding behind it. As I cut out each piece, I've quilted every piece before making it up, and then I've also lined it in this fabric on the inside and added these deep pockets at the front. So the pattern that I used was actually a Burda cardigan pattern, which wasn't meant to be lined or have pockets. I just got that for the basic shape, and then I've just done my own thing. I've sort of added a collar, added the pockets, added lining and a zip and everything. So it's pretty much my own design, but I used a cardigan pattern loosely for the shape. So that's what I've done with that. And now that it's this short style and the pockets, I had to take those off and make them higher as well. It's much better and it's much more me. So I'm wearing that a lot more now. So I remade that the same month that I did these other makes. And also another real favourite of mine, again what I had on yesterday, it's actually got fluff on it off my coat, but I'll show a better image up here. It's this skirt. So I've made it before, you see one on the back is the one I've made before. This one. Now this is a basket weave. So this is a basket weave fabric, so it's quite heavy. It's black. The only problem with this is it does pick up fluff. I'm forever going over it with a brush, and as you can see it's got fluff on it now because it was under my coat. And I've hung it up because it's black and it's a thick skirt and I've only wore it once, so I wear things a couple of times before I put them in the wash. It's got brass buttons. I did line it, doesn't have to be lined because you wouldn't line a denim skirt, but I like them to be lined so that they don't grab on my tights. So that's why I've done that. And it's got these lovely little belt loops all the way around. So the pattern for that one, I'll show you that one now. So that particular black skirt is a Burda style pattern and it's 6252. So I made this short one here, and I just made it ever so slightly longer than that version because that was a little bit too short for me. So I made it a little longer and then I've added a lining, and it's another great one that I will use again and again. In fact, I've got some fabric left over from a jacket make in my stash there, and I'm thinking that might be one that I do this year because I wear that one so much. I know that the other fabric is also in a neutral colour. It will get worn. So next up is my Morgan jeans. So these have been worn so much. These are a real favourite and I will make them again, but I have said that I will raise the waist a little because I do like my waistline to come up a little higher and not sit like a low rise, but everything else about them I just love. So I made them in this green, and this green was an offcut that I bought when I went fabric shopping with my friend once, and it was just enough to make these jeans. So it's a non-stretch jean, the Morgan. So, and I've got the orange top stitching look, and again on the back. So they are worn and loved loads. So a real winner, that make. And then the next one, another one that I really loved, was the Elodie wrap dress by Closet Co. So this one isn't getting worn at the moment because it's very much a summer dress and I want to keep it that way. I did line the skirt on this one purely because this is a cotton lawn and it was very light and I wanted to give it a little bit more body in the skirt, so I've just lined the skirt section. But I'll insert some photographs. Absolutely love that. I love the print, I love the style of the dress, and I think it looks so much better made up than it actually does on the front cover of the Elodie pattern by Closet Co. I just don't think that does it justice. So I love that one. Really nice if you're looking for a really nice summer dress. That's that one. Then next up I made this. This is a William Morris print. So this is a cotton that I got from my local fabric shop, and I used a pattern out of an old Birdie magazine. Again, I've lined it. I really like it. It's got this little front zip placket detail just here, and I was going to say it's got pockets. It hasn't got pockets. It's got pleats either side, there and there, and it fastens with a skirt hook there, so a sturdy one. So that hooks over at the front, and then you've got the zip fly. It's a really nice little skirt. It's also got this front vent just here, look. You probably can't see some of those details for the print, but it's really nice. So that was Birdie magazine. I can't remember what year off the top of my head. And then again, another plain t-shirt. So plain t-shirt, I've done the sleeve this time so it just comes above my elbow. And again, it's a white cotton jersey. Really nice, really comfortable. Goes with lots of things. Right, seeing where I'm up to. So next up, I've got this green blouse which I made with an offcut of fabric, and it is Simplicity 8602. So 8602, I made the one with the frilly sleeves, as you can see, and it's like a crop version. So I made this one. I wear it quite a lot, or I wore it quite a lot in the summer. So it was a successful make, and I think mainly because I really love the colour and I really love the print. It's also really nice with jeans. So that was a success, that one. I will make that pattern again. And then this next one was a remake. So this used to be a fairly simple dress, sort of shift dress with a belt round it and cap sleeves. I took it apart completely and again used a pattern from an old Birdie magazine. Don't throw away those Birdie magazines because you can come back to them later. And I made this tie front blouse. Again, love it. I wore it all through the summer and I've also wore it in the cooler months with a long sleeve top underneath. I used a different shade for the facings and under collar. So I didn't quite have enough of the fabric to do everything. So I've just used other bits to do under the facings, behind the button band and so on. And I just love that. And I used buttons that I already have. So it's got that cute, and I used bias binding also on the short sleeves here. So I love that, and it's had loads more wear now that it's been refashioned into something else, but I did need to completely cut up the dress and start again. It wasn't just a case of like chopping the bottom off and hemming like you sometimes do when you make something into a top. As it was going to be a blouse, it had to be completely deconstructed and lots of new pieces cut. So that was that. And then the next one that I did was I copied a Suzanne blouse. I'm going to put an image up here. And I used some jersey that I had. Now the Suzanne blouse in the image was made from crepe, I do believe. I just used the shape for my inspiration. So again, I made a tie front blouse in red, so that was that one. And then also, what else have I missed off? Oh, I did a black dress to sweater refashion. I have to say I haven't wore this much, and I will tell you why. It's mainly because I don't like the feel of the fabric. So I've remade it into something else, but the fabric has quite a scratchy feel to it, and I think that's why I didn't wear it so much as a dress either, because it's not comfortable to wear. So I've remade it, I've tried it out, but yeah, it's the comfort factor. So that one's not been worn very much at all. I think I've worn it once. Next up, I did have a make for my husband, which was a blue check shirt. I will pop that in just here. And I was using up a remnant that I had there. And then for me, I made this gabardine jacket. Again, I love this one. It is a style art pattern. I will pop the exact name on the screen when I'm editing in a moment. But I did add pockets and change it a little bit. And I've added a lining as well. So I added these pockets which weren't on the pattern, and these large buttons and some top stitching. I just think that gives it a little bit more detail. I'll insert a few images of me wearing it. I already had this lining which was gifted to me some time ago, so I've added in that, and it is just a gorgeous comfy jacket and it goes with lots of things, so I really love this. I do have some fabric left of this, and that was what I was talking about, thinking of making the button up skirt again. So that is a real favourite, a really smart jacket if you're looking for something extra, and if you want to add pockets it's just really easy to do. So that was that one. And then I made my pink linen trousers. I have a video about how I made these. So I used a trouser pattern that I've used many times before, and I just add things to it really. So this particular one I've added on some pockets, and it's got a belt, and I will link the video at the end if you're interested in seeing how I made those. So those are pink linen. And then next up is the Rory jumpsuit. So the Rory jumpsuit, again I will insert images. I used this gorgeous print which I found at the charity shop. I found it in the cat rescue. I think it was £3 or £4 for a large piece, and I used buttons I already had. I already had the pattern. Great make. I'm really pleased with that during the summer. Wore that a lot, and I know I will do again. Next up, I was doing some scrap busting again. I made myself this purple t-shirt. So it's got a v-neck, quite a wild print. It's nice for the summer though, and I used this new look pattern here. So this is 6543 if you're interested in this one. You can also do it as a vest. I did it with the sleeves. So again, I'll pop some images of me wearing it. So that's that one. And then after that, I opted to make this dress because I've made this dress before. Now I had some fabric left over from the year before, which I was gifted at the Minerva event, and this is McCall's 7381, and it's this blue dress. So again, this was a real winner in the summer. I took it on holiday with me a couple of times. I really love the pattern. It's got this twist tie at the front, look, and it crosses over. Sleeveless, just finished with binding. It's a really easy to wear dress, gorgeous, really love that one. And then a big make of this year. I say a big make because I'm so pleased with them and I've had so many compliments. I bought myself this dark denim and I made these wide leg jeans, so I will insert some images of these. Didn't use a jean pattern, I just altered a trouser pattern again. I added additional pockets on the back. It does have patch pockets to the front. I'll insert the pattern number in there. And I just added all the details such as the top stitching to make it look more like jeans. They are jeans, but as I say, it's not a jeans pattern, so it just goes to show you don't have to always use what you would think, just use trousers, but add in all the jeans details. And that's what I did here. Love those. We're getting there. Maybe I should have said grab a cup of tea. In fact, maybe pause and do that now because there's a few more to go. But we are getting there. So the next one, again, is some gifted fabric that was given a while ago, and it had been in my stash, very kindly given to me by an old lady who passed away, given to me by her daughter, and it had been in my stash, and I used it up this year, and it's on the Alexa frill dress. The Alexa frill dress. I have made it before. It's this one. It's a really nice subtle print. I've not added the frill on this particular sleeve, but I have added the frill at the neck and I've added the frill at the bottom. So I'll insert some pictures so that you can see that better. It's got a zip in the back. It's a really nice dress if you're looking for one for a special occasion. So that's that one. Next up, I also did the Roscoe. Now, I did the Roscoe in this double gauze. I love this green. It's a really nice green colour. I made a belt to go with mine because I do like things belted. So I find when it's belted around the middle, it gives it just a little bit more structure. So again, the Roscoe has this deep frill at the bottom, and then the sleeves go into this band here, and you've got the open tie at the front. So you can either have it open like that, or you can tie it up if you wish, and it all gathers into that band round the neck. Another one that I love. I love the colour, I love the dress, and it's really comfy. So that one's the Roscoe. And then the next dress that I made that same month was this one. So this is McCall's 8104. So this one is 8104. You can't see that properly there, can you? And this one is in a cotton sateen. Going really bright there, aren't I? Again, I've used this sort of brownie fake button, but I've turned it over and used it the other way up. So it all gathers into this curve here. And it's got a button band down the neck here that goes to a V here. So the first button is there, sort of this point. Next up, we've got a Marlowe cardigan that I made up out of some fabric that I had left over from a sweater. So it's this one. So it's this Marlowe cardigan. I really like the colour and it's really cosy, but I am going to have to say I haven't hardly wore this. And the reason I haven't hardly wore it is because it doesn't go with many things. And I did say this at the time. It's lovely, but if things don't go with anything, then you end up not wearing them. So that one's not hardly been worn at all. That's the first one. And then I bought a red sweater from a charity shop and did a remake. And I used the Marlowe pattern again to make this one. I have wore this one more, mainly because it's a solid colour. So this one, the red one, and I used the brass buttons on this one again. So this one has been worn more, mainly because it's plain. So you can wear plain things with more things. So again, that's the Marlowe. That one's a remake and a refashion. Next up we have a wrap skirt. This one was made earlier in the year, but I forgot about this one. Lined it. Again, that was scrap busting, so that was using up a piece of fabric that I had left. Next up we have this one. Now this is from a Mimi G pattern, where you had trousers, a long line coat, a long line waistcoat and a t-shirt. And then I noticed that I've not made the t-shirt out of it. I've since made the t-shirt, being this one, in this lovely sort of rib, sort of velvet effect. And the t-shirt is a really good pattern, so I'm going to include that here somewhere. I'll put in what pattern number it is because I can't put my hand on it at the moment, but I have got details of it downstairs. So this one was a really great make. So that was an unexpected make from a pattern that I'd already made the trousers from. So I really like this. This is really sort of seasonal with it being velvet and sort of a bit shimmery. I also made this French terry t-shirt a little while ago where I added in these details of my own, and again I did these sleeves to my sort of just above my elbow. I am going to change that. I'm finding that with it being French terry and it grabs a little bit underneath things, it would be better if it was just a short sleeve, and I think I'd be more comfortable in it. So that is one that I am going to be changing again, but that is the only thing that's wrong with it. It's the sleeve. It's just completely wrong for the kind of material and for where it sits and the time of year that I'm wearing it really under things. It's just pulling up all the time. So that one is just going to be shortened. And then a couple of other things that I forgot to add onto my list, but I've since realised. I made the pyjamas in the chamoose with the trees on. I'm going to insert an image of those just here. So I used the marigold. I used the marigold pattern to make the top, and then just a trouser pattern to make the bottoms for those. So that was those. I also did a couple of t-shirts. I did two for my mum and one for my mother-in-law, a couple of gift makes. going to insert images of those up there, and I think that is us just about done. Yes, I think that's it. Oh, I did the coat remake as well, but that was quite recent, and if you watch my channel you'll have seen that, so I'll just pop an image up here. So I remade my coat from a year or so ago and made it more wearable for me, and I wear that all the time. I had it on yesterday, in fact. So that is my roundup. I'm sorry if that's gone on way too long. I hope just seeing some of these things has given you some ideas. And it's funny, isn't it, when you look back and you think, I've not done that much for me this year, and then you start having to find them all out and you realise, yes, I have. So yeah, fortunately most of those things have been a success and they're getting worn. I have just a couple, and I am finding the couple that I don't wear, it's usually about comfort. If the fabric doesn't feel nice, if it's not comfortable, I don't wear it. And the more patterned things, especially in things like cardigans and jumpers, don't get worn as often. I think the same goes for jackets as well, because if they don't go with things, you don't reach for them. So that needs to be a lesson to carry into the new year. I hope you've all had a lovely Christmas season, however you celebrate it. I hope you have a fabulous New Year celebrations and a good start to the new year. And now we're back soon with more sewing inspiration for you. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and also click the notifications bell, because I do find a lot of people that I follow, they don't come up on my feed. So maybe do that and it'll make sure that we get to see each other again soon. Bye for now.